I want to give a huge thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Therapy isn't something to run away from, it's a vessel to run towards. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service and it's 100% online, so break out your comfies. With BetterHelp, you can tap into a network of over 30,000 licensed and experienced therapists who can help you with a wide range of issues. To get started, you just answer a few questions about your needs and preferences in therapy. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist from their network. Then you talk to your therapist however you feel comfortable, whether it's via text, chat, phone, or video call. You can message your therapist at any time. Anytime. And schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. No more fumbling to get a session on the calendar. You schedule based on when the time is right for you. If your therapist isn't the right fit for any reason, you can switch to a new therapist at no additional charge. Therapy changed my life for the better. Pun intended. And with BetterHelp, you get the same professionalism and quality you expect from in-office therapy, but with a therapist who is custom picked for you, more scheduling flexibility, and a more affordable price. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Rocky. That's betterhelp.com/Rocky. Party God Squad, hello! Did you have a good week? I sure hope so. I know it's a challenge sometimes to have a good week, so just be good. Whatever you're doing, whoever you're with, just be good, because being good and doing good will spread good, and that's good. And it may be surprising to you to hear this, but I wrote that. I know you're thinking, wow, did she get that from a poem book of inspirational poems and then share it with my ears for sport? Nah, kid. I wrote it. I want to thank you for riding with me if you've been riding with me, because the show has been different lately. I've been doing weekly recaps of my fully loaded at sea cruise, including the day before the cruise, because they were truly 5 of the most fun and wild days of my life. If you're just joining us, jumping into the show for the first time, you have 3 options. Listen, be entertained, yet lost. You can go back 2 episodes and be fully immersed in the story, or you can start the podcast from episode 1. I'll see you back here in 2 to 3 months after you've had the greatest podcast binge of your entire life, baby. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Today was day 2 of the cruise and day 3 of the trip. We were scheduled to be going to Grand Stirrups Key, and here's the tea on Grand Stirrups Key. It's a privately owned island, which means the cruise line owns it, which means, and so I've heard, is that the island is curated to cruisers and cruisers only. Not very authentico, if you ask me. Now, I have no problem with that. I'm like a Fat Joe song, baby. Whatever it is we're doing, I lean back. But I'm here to tell you that I'm in it for the company. Any island you put us on, we're going to be laughing. I promise you that. So when they told us we wouldn't be going to Grand Stirrups Key today, instead we were going to be rerouted and move that day to the last day of the cruise because of weather, I was fine. That means a day of floating around in the middle of the ocean where there are literal dinosaurs below us that could flip the boat at any time with some of my favorite people in the whole goddamn world. Float on, baby. Float on. The cruise was so much fun. It was so much drinking. There were so many inside jokes. There was so much dancing. But I don't want you to think we were there resting on our laurels. We were with Team Cypher Sounds. And the 4 of us had work to be done for our fearless leader. There was a gorgeous spread for us at the Artist Lounge. My plate looked like I was on the Atkins diet. Not a lot of carbs at sea. A lot of grease. A lot of bacon. That was Trump. I did Trump. I don't like Trump, but we did a lot of Trump impressions on the cruise. So, a lot of bacon. Love bacon. Miss Piggy is my favorite. I'll stop. I have to stop. It really is one of those things when you start doing it, you can't stop. But I did eat bacon and eggs and breakfast fruits. While we were eating our breakfast like a little fam, everybody's coming and talking about karaoke. Here we go again. The night before, everybody's running over talking about karaoke. Now, in the morning, everyone's coming up to us telling us how much fun they had at karaoke. But I think for me in that moment, it was decided, I'm singing karaoke tonight. And not just because we're at sea, but I'm like Ariel. I want to be where the people are. But I would never give up my voice to a witch for a man. But I would brush my hair with a fork if the style called for it. And I could make friends with the talking lobster if I was given enough mushrooms. Karaoke this, karaoke that. Okay, we get it. White people like to sing John Bon Jovi in front of a crowd. I'm here for it. We'll be there tonight. You sold us. Who's singing Sweet Caroline? Because I can't wait to say so good, so good, so good. I didn't know Sweet Caroline was a song until I was 19 years old in college at a theater festival. I went to this dance and they played Sweet Caroline and everyone around me was like, so good, so good, so good. Is 19 too old to find out that Sweet Caroline is a song? Who was the first person to ever start the call and response? Who's Caroline? Since that moment of discovering that Sweet Caroline was a song, I know I've heard it dozens upon dozens of times after that, but I only associate it with that one moment. Do you associate Sweet Caroline with a bunch of moments? Or do you just have one Sweet Caroline moment and then do the rest just blend in? God damn, people love that song. The same way people feel about Sweet Caroline, I feel about Genuine's So Anxious. It's just not as much of a cultural phenomenon. After the karaoke buzz wore off and people started to go about their day, we got to work. We pulled out our laptops, pulled out our notebooks, and we grinded it out. We grinded it out for the rest of the morning and early afternoon. Then we took it upstairs to the cruise buffet, because how else are you going to stay grounded? Sometimes you got to eat amongst the normies. This podcast isn't too big. I'm not too successful to say, hey, Dan from Topeka, I saw you walking around the cruise ship last night. I know I'm supposed to be eating in a different lounge than you, but we can share these same fries, can't we? It's about staying humble. It's about keeping 2 feet on the ground. It's about not being too big for your britches. Eat where you want to eat on the cruise ship. Unless you don't have a talent pass, then you're not allowed in the artist lounge with us. Jesus Christ. But we'll come see you. You got a great offering of fries up there. We kept it absolutely humble on the pool deck, then continued our work. But that does not mean that we weren't having fun. I'm going to be real with you. Have you ever seen Entourage? That's what it feels like to be in an entourage. It feels exactly like the show Entourage. And I'm a feminist. Well, I don't think men and women are equal. I think women are way better. Mathematically, of course. On paper, no doubt. Aesthetically, objectively. But I love me some Entourage. So it's kind of fun to be in one. And by kind of fun, I mean really fun. This was the day that I got to meet Bert Kreischer and his wife Leanne. And I gotta say, solid handshakes from both of them. Syph had to do a quick set at a place called the Spinnaker Lounge. I just want to say to anyone who goes into a comedy show with ill intent, not ready to laugh, with a bad, sour attitude, you're the worst kind of person. I don't want to go tell you what professions to go take your bad attitude out on. Everybody's just trying to eat, right? Everybody's just trying to make a life for themselves. If you have a bad attitude, just stay home. And I say all this to say, all the cruise ship audiences were on board to laugh. That's what made this trip so joyful and fun. People weren't sitting around like, entertain me. They were like, I paid money to be on this cruise. There are some of the best comedians in the country on this cruise. I'm in. And who knows, maybe they were also on mushrooms. That could have had something to do with their positive attitudes. Syph, being the jack of all trades that he is, after the show, had to go DJ. Now, there's a little bit of buzz from the night before. Sure. It was a lot of white people trying to get behind a karaoke mic. But he was DJing with Carter Cruz that night, and the music was awesome. It was New York club status good. It was Las Vegas, LA, Ibiza quality dancing and music. Now, Liam is Irish. I'm half Irish. I think that's a sliding scale of white. I don't group the Irish with all white people unless they're from Boston. But on some occasions, I will group the Irish with white people. And that occasion is karaoke. And that little voice inside of us that is yearning for karaoke. So we leave the dance party. How do we scratch the itch of needing, wanting, and having to be at this dance party? Because it is the place to be. But also pop our heads in at karaoke for a little bit. Because the buzz was buzzing about karaoke. Well, it's easy. We go to karaoke and tell everyone they should be at the dance party, while simultaneously, Liam and I put our names in to sing Johnny Cash and June Carter's Jackson as a duet. So we put our name in, then we go back to the dance party, dance for 3 songs, come back to karaoke, see if it's our turn. This wasn't normal karaoke. You didn't put your name on a list. You put your name in a bucket, and then your name gets picked at random. Well, I don't know about you, but I haven't mastered being at 2 places at once. So we would leave the dance party, go tell everyone at karaoke, you gotta be at the dance party. It is fucking wild, which it was. And then we would check to see if our name got picked. We did this for almost 3 hours and our name never got picked. And we were amongst the regular crowd when the dance party ended and we were sweaty and happy and full of vigor. We knew the next night's dance party was going to be even crazier. But our hearts were heavy because we hadn't been chosen for karaoke. And we told Syph, we said, Syph, we put in our name 3 hours ago for karaoke. They never picked us. Or if they did, we were at the dance party because, again, we can't be in 2 places at once. And he goes, oh, follow me. Takes us around the corner of karaoke. And there is a whole VIP area for everyone who has a talent pass. That's us. It was like time stood still and the Jefferson theme song started playing in my head. And I know you want me to sing the Jefferson theme song for you right now like I'm some kind of dancing monkey. And all I have to say to that is, well, we're moving on up to the east side, which is VIP karaoke. Well, we're moving on up to the east side. We finally get to sing our song. Shout out to Marla Gibbs. And if you don't know who Marla Gibbs is, go look her up. You don't want to be the person walking around saying, who's Marla Gibbs? That's embarrassing. I would hate if that happened to me. But it didn't, because I know who everyone is. Ever. He takes us to the VIP section of karaoke, which is our new section of karaoke, and it's the new way we get to experience karaoke on the boat. And god damn it, of course everyone came up to us and was telling us how fun karaoke was after being in the VIP section. Do you know what happens in the VIP section of karaoke? The VIP section of karaoke gets to sing whenever they want. It's like 2 VIP songs to every 1 regular person in the crowd song. The VIP section of karaoke is America. The America that capitalism created. The pecking order. It was a microcosm of a macro society. And I'm just keeping it real. Socialist values go out the window when you're in the VIP section of karaoke on a cruise. Oh, that person's been waiting 5 hours? Well, I'm sorry. We're cutting the line, and we're going to Jackson. If you think I'm a bad person for participating in capitalism karaoke, I don't fucking care. I've been paying student loans my entire life. The least I can have is a leg up in the karaoke line. This was the universe saying, we got you, girl. Sing Jackson. So I did. I sang the shit out of it. Listen, we were beat off for the whole song. Me and Liam, we just couldn't catch up with the music. And that's okay. Because we were singing our asses off. And we looked good while we were doing it. We accidentally matched. He was wearing black and white and I was wearing black and white. For me, on the inside and out. It was great. It was joy. It was magnetism. It was about to be, we will see you the next couple nights in a row, baby. Karaoke is the other spot to be. I sang a song solo too. I just don't remember what it was because I'd had so much tequila. I also had a little something called the side truffle. The side truffle, well, they make luxury desserts. And they make luxury desserts, if you catch my drift. And I think you catch my drift. My advice to you would be to follow them on Instagram at The Side Truffle. Get some baked goods for you or a friend. They're high quality. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Side Truffle is the reason I can't remember what my solo karaoke song was. The Side Truffle was the reason Liam and I were beat behind when we were singing Jackson. The Side Truffle is the shit. Check them out. Tell them Wild Nights with Rocky sent ya, because they sent me. When a person sings Jackson by Johnny Cash and June Carter, you know what's going to happen to them? They're going to get exhausted. Never mind, we performed it for Bert Kreischer while he was sitting on the stairs watching us. And you're going to be exhausted and you're going to be drunk. And perhaps you're going to have the munchies. So Liam and I go to the Artist Lounge, where we were humbled. And we were humbled hard. We went in with our talent badges on. We dug right into that buffet and we sat across from each other. And we ate like we earned it. One of the employees came up to us and said, "Do you belong here?" Is this because we're Irish? You see a couple of late night spuds on our plate and you want to kick us out of the first class eatery? Yeah, we belong here. Check the badge, bro. Sure, we're sweaty. Sure, the brims of our forehead are wet. And I took my shoes off for just a sec. Sure, we have all 4 of our elbows on the table, and we're shoveling the food down our gullets like we're Joey fucking Chestnut on July 4th. But we belong. We do, right? These passes are still good to the end of the trip. We're not the Cinderellas of the cruise ship, right? This boat's not about to turn into a pumpkin, is it? I don't want to give up my balcony room. The guy apologized. Said he was just doing his job. He just had to make sure everybody was in the Artist Lounge, belonged in the Artist Lounge. He obviously wasn't at karaoke. He would have known we belonged. But we didn't cause a fuss. And we didn't get externally offended. We finished our potatoes. And then we walked right upstairs to the Irish bar with all of our friends. They would never treat us like that at the Irish bar. I wasn't getting any hangovers on the trip because I was drinking tequila and water. And if I wasn't drinking tequila and water, I was drinking tequila and soda. Do you know what I watched a lot of people do? I watched them mix alcohols and I watched them stay dehydrated. More on that later. I have 2 more episodes of the fully loaded recap. And I don't want you to jump ship. I want you to stay on board. But if you want to access those episodes, those will be available on my Patreon only. That's right. I'm going to cover what happens when we went to the Bahamas. When we went to a beach, but couldn't beach. My Halloween costume, I was attempting to be Bride of Chucky, but I really just was Bride of Doll. You're going to hear what happens when Grand Stirrups Key gets canceled again. And the spontaneous dance party that rocked the ship. I mean the wildest dance party I've ever been to in my life. We partied in the heat and almost sunk the boat. You're going to hear about Liam opening for Shang motherfucking Wang. You're going to hear about an epic toast. You're going to hear about it all, but not if you don't subscribe to the Patreon. That's where part 4 and 5 will be. $5 a month. So join me over on Patreon and finish the Fully Loaded at Sea story with me. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can follow me at Wild Nights with Rocky on TikTok and Instagram, at Wild Nights Pod on Twitter. You can also subscribe on YouTube, watch extended past episodes with past guests, and keep up with future episodes. Another reminder that you can join my Patreon for $2 or $5 a month. $5 will get you the end of the Fully Loaded at Sea story. And it was a doozy. A big thank you and a future thank you to everyone who's written and everyone who will write a review when this episode is over. It really does make a difference. And until next time, stay wild.